All right, there we go.
Okay, so I guess we're ready for the Pledge of Allegiance. Why don't we all just say that to ourselves for a minute or two? Okay, hopefully that was enough time for you. Okay, approval of agenda. I have a modification that I want to propose to the agenda, and that's the revised agenda had us talking in closed session about test scores, but we want to postpone that until next month. Is there any comments or suggestions or anything there?
No, and the Vista scores come out tomorrow to the public anyway, so I think it's fine.
Okay, good. Okay. Any other modifications or additions to the agenda?
I'll motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, we need a roll call.
All right. Dean,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Sam,
Yes.
Karen,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay, great. Okay, approval of minutes. You had a couple minor modifications, didn't you,
Yeah.
Karen?
I made those changes today.
Oh, did you? Okay. So does anybody else have any changes to the minutes from last month? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll motion to approve the minutes as amended.
I'll second.
We need
Right,
a
roll call. Oh, am I on mute? Oh, there we go. Dean,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Sam,
Yes.
Karen,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay, governing council input. There was something that we were talking about a little bit ago that we're going to talk about here. Do you remember what it was? I don't remember it right now, but we'll get to it eventually. We're all virtual today. I know Martin's in Paris. So he's drinking wine and eating croissants. Instead. So we can't blame him for doing that. So, but I'm hoping that next month, I'll be back, and I'm hoping that we can get quite a few people there in person. Because it's just better if we can meet in person every so often. So that we remember who we are and what we look like and things. So that's about all I have for input. Anybody else have any input?
Just a reminder that I won't be at the December meeting.
That's right. You said that last time, didn't you? Yeah. So,
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Public input. I don't see any public here. So I guess we don't have any public input. Okay. Financial reports. Deanna, you're up.
Hi, everyone. So we sent out September reports for everyone. And then just so you know, quarterly reports were submitted. Stuff like Medicare, stuff with the 941s, SUTA reports, which is the unemployment and workman's comp, and then our first quarter of the fiscal year, the cash report and the actuals. Our audit is nearing completion. We're supposed to have an exit conference this week. And audits should be submitted to the state auditor in late November. Once they release the state audit, we'll share it in an open session of the board meeting. And that's usually sometime in the spring. Did anybody have questions for me regarding what I did send out?
No.
Okay, are we ready for bars?
Yep, you sent out some bars for us.
I did. Bar number 3 is an increased bar for Fund 24101. That's our Title I money. We have an additional $558. Bar 4 is a transfer bar for Fund 24189, Title IV. And it's to bring the line items into alignment with our actual need. We're changing how we're using that money. I mean, it's in the same general area. It's just we're using it for a different line. So, and then bar 5 is an increased bar for Fund 28210. That was some of our outdoor ed money that we received. we just had a little bit of carryover that we had encumbered and that is carried over to this year. So that's $36,286.24.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the bars.
I'll second.
There wasn't a first.
Oh, I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call.
Sorry, it takes me a second to switch back and forth for my mute button. Dean,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Sam,
Yes.
Karen,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay, the Finance and Audit Committee. Well, the Finance Committee update, we met at 5 o'clock tonight and we discussed several questions that both Karen and I had, with Deanna and Pamela. And, everything seems to be going good. It's we have a lot of money, right now, but we'll probably be spending most of it. So it's not too much of a worry, but I do worry a little bit about if we get too much and then the state wants to claw back some of the money. So we have to be watching so we don't get too much money, which is kind of a strange thing to say, I guess. I guess we need to approve the Finance Committee report.
It looks like Sam raised her hand.
Oh, did you? I didn't see that, Sam. You have
Yeah, I just have a question about has the school considered a high yield savings account or anything like that? Like I know some schools are doing it when they get to a certain amount of money in the bank.
No, we haven't. We haven't talked about doing that. It's something we can certainly discuss in Finance Committee. But a lot of the money, we're getting ready to do that wellness building. So that'll be taking quite a little bit of money. And then we were going to reevaluate. Tracy still did want to do some additional stuff in the grounds to bring the grounds together with all the new campus. So there's a few things still out there that we're planning to do.
It sounds like a wise financial thing. Are there any political consequences if we have a high yield savings account or something? I mean, as far as if they look at it when they're thinking about clawbacks and things, is it going to be a disadvantage?
I mean, I think Deanna can probably answer it better than me, but my understanding is that as long as there's a plan for how that interest is going to be used, that it's not an issue. But Deanna probably knows more. Deanna probably knows more than I do.
I actually don't. Kelly, do you have anything to add on that? Have you?
I don't know specifically about that, but I would say to Dean's question, that it would have to be very transparent to everybody, what is happening, in an open meeting, doing this, and you're right, Sam, that there would have to be a clear delineation of where the interest would be placed in terms of the school's budget. So, I think it probably would be good to do some research just in general about what that means for a public school in terms of any reporting requirements like the school budget people and, that kind of thing. Just crossing T's and dotting I's to make sure.
Right.
Sam, if you don't mind sharing some schools that maybe are doing
Oh,
this,
definitely. Yeah, I know several who have done it, so I can definitely connect you.
and I can certainly talk to some people that have more expertise in that than myself.
Yeah, for sure. Because if there's money left over, it might make sense.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Yeah, I think so too. As long as it doesn't affect us as far as, the politics, and that it's all done right.
Isn't it sad we even have to have that conversation?
It is.
I think that part of it is you have to be careful which fund you invest, because there's some funds that may not be able to be allowed to invest that money.
Oh, good thought there, Karen.
Yeah, because of federal money and
that.
stuff like that. There's some also some other specific funds that you cannot invest. So you have to be very careful that you put it correctly in the general ledger so that they know that it's operational money probably and not other funds that are not allowed to be invested.
Thank you for that. Yes. I think you're exactly right on that.
Why don't we put that on our agenda for December to talk about that more? And if you could do a little research, Deanna, and get some thoughts together
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, if Sam sends me that, I can certainly reach out to their finance people.
Okay, great. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the Finance Committee report.
I'll motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we need a roll call. Ashley?
Dean,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Karen,
Yes.
Sam,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay, I wanted to ask is what's going on with the audit committee? I noticed we're going to be talking about getting somebody on, a new person on the audit committee, but do we need any report from them tonight?
And no, actually, we have Sam on there right now, and Martin. Thank you. My mind went blank. We're looking for a new community member, so we do need to find a new community member because somebody needs to take Bill's place. So if anybody knows a community member that doesn't, it doesn't take a lot of time because really it's usually during the audit that we meet. And then on occasion, if there's a lot of findings or something, then there's more meetings during the year to make sure we're taking care of any audit findings that we have. So for the most part, it's usually just meeting during the audit. So we do have an exit conference planned for Wednesday. I think that that's probably going to be postponed from what I last heard to like next Monday. I should hear from the auditor soon. They've called off and on. They're trying to finish up all their paperwork. So, but audit's wrapping up. It's on my end, it's complete unless they have additional questions for us.
Okay. Anything else about finances before we go on? Okay, Karen, foundation report.
Let me unmute so you can hear me. Well, I apologize. I don't know why I can't remember to send out those financial reports, but I neglected to send them out before. So we're welcome to, talk about those financials in the December meeting if you like. We did have our regularly scheduled meeting at the end of October, and I sent the reports this afternoon, but oh so late. And again, I apologize. So we can talk about those later in December. At this point, our bank balance at the end of September was $47,487. I have submitted all the requested documents to the auditors. We're still doing that, the audit. So those were, requested at the end of last week. I sent some out today. So it's kind of not surprising that we may postpone that exit audit, but that's all the info I have. I've provided what they've asked for. So audit is in their hands. And then I also have submitted our all the financials to Swinehart CPA for our 2023-2024 taxes. They are due here in November. I haven't heard that we are extending, but if they don't get to it, we'll extend, which gives us until May to do that final filing. At this point, I think we're still on time. But I'll let you know in the December meeting if those got filed or if we had to postpone that. And then also the board approved reinvesting our money in the CD with Live Oak Bank. As most of you will recall, we have our final facility payment that was paid up front at the beginning of the contract. And we invested that in a CD with Live Oak Bank, and it comes due in January, probably before we meet again. We do meet in January, but we're not going to meet until the end of January. And so it was approved that we would renew the 1-year CD at Live Oak Bank in January, come January. And that's kind of all. We've done away with a lot of our tasks and duties at the foundation, so it's short and sweet. Do y'all have any questions for me?
Nope. Okay,
Okey-doke.
let's move on.
And that's all
Let's
she
move
wrote for
on.
me.
Yep. Okay, Jamie, you're up.
Okay. So let's see. Parent and Student Advisory Equity Council and clubs. So our next meeting is scheduled November 20th, 4:15. It is, we will be hosting a special presentation in honor of Native American Heritage Month. Aspen Song Kids and our Native American Studies class students will be presenting at that meeting. So if you are able to attend, please do so. That's at 4:15, November 20th. Okay. And then our National Junior Honor Society and our National Honor Society held their induction ceremony November 4th. One of our largest groups ever. Over 30 students were inducted this year from 7th grade through 12th grade. And so both our sponsors were there, and we had some wonderful speakers, and it was a great event. So those are the things with clubs and equity council and those things that have happened. As far as district testing, we just received back quite early, actually, our PSAT and MSQT. That's the National Merit Qualifying Test, and that's offered to 10th graders. 94% of our eligible 10th graders participated. And I'm actually going to share my screen, so I'm going to show you guys. Let's see. Here we go. I want to show you guys a little bit of data. Let me tell me when you can see my screen there. Okay. So here's our overall school scores here. That average, our median score was 916 across the state public schools. The average was 838. Overall schools, that includes some private schools in New Mexico, 849. And then across the U.S., we were slightly below the average. 952 is the national average. And then global areas that take it, which is about 40,000 more students across the globe that take it, was on average 954. So we were slightly below. Keep in mind, this is 10th graders, and 11th graders have the option of taking this test as well. They do pay for it. We only had one student opt in. So just giving you guys some information on that. It is paid for by PED. It is free. It is the only other test that we get in high school in summative form. So it really does help our students prepare for their tests in their junior year. All right, reading and writing, which was great. Our average score was 487 across the state, 435 through all public schools, 441. We were on par with across the national average, which was 486, and globally 486. So being at 487, that was awesome. Our students performed quite well in that area. Then the math area, same thing. We are still 430 was our average. Across the state, the average was 403. So we're well above in terms of the state. And then, of course, all schools across the state, 408. We are still below the national average, which was 467, and globally 468. So those are relatively really close. We're below that, but we're somewhere in the middle, in between what we do statewide and nationally in terms of math. Like I said, our reading scores currently for our 10th grade are on par with what's happening nationally. So I'm going to stop presenting that. Just wanted to give you a little insight. Like I said, it's offered for free. We encourage all our students to take it. It was really awesome. And the way it happened this year, that we did it during that new trial period of that flex week. So what was awesome was that it didn't interrupt any students' classes. We didn't have to take time from their regular instructional time and with their teachers to offer the test. So that was nice. It's all digital now. It takes a lot less time. was offered last year. It was a new version of the test last year. It is shorter. And the results were so quick. We weren't expecting them till the first week of December. So that was awesome. I have a meeting with all of the 10th grade students next week on Tuesday to share their results and show them how to use this in their next steps in both it's useful in their advisory, helping them guide themselves in what to do in reading and math, where they need to work at, as well as in their college and career prep, those CCP classes, because it does give them some career. They do a survey, it shows them what they might be good at, what their interests are. So it ties into our next step plans and career cruising. So it's going to be used in multiple areas. So it's nice to have so many students participate. And then, of course, we have the ASVAB. That's that military career planning test. And that's going to be offered, same thing, it's free of charge to our 10th through 12th graders. It's going to be offered on December 13th. And students may use that score to demonstrate competency as per our Taos Academy's graduate profile. So our expectations of what those cut scores, which we've laid out before, still apply for all our high school graduates. And so that's going to be offered again. And those students, what's nice about that is not, the military does come in and offer that test. Armed Forces does come out and proctor and offer that test, but none of the scores go to recruiters or anything. That score is just given back to the school for the students' use and helps them, guides them in terms of what they need to work on. It demonstrates those areas in all of the core areas and gives them some guidance. Same thing in different career opportunities and next step plans. And so both of these tests are very useful for students post-secondary planning. Okay.
Yeah,
Any questions about those?
Yeah, Jamie, is there any way we can compare the test scores with last year? Have we improved, or?
For PSAT?
Yeah.
We could. We didn't have the same large number, and yeah, I can have that available for you guys for the next meeting. And what's nice actually is it actually looks better when we start looking at that same group of 10th graders when they take the SAT and how that affects our students, and having taken that and planning for it. So I'll look at it both ways and share that with you.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay.
So STEM.
All right. So STEM. So we have a couple of things coming up. Our end of term events are going to take place on 2 different days. Thursday, December 12th from 2 to 4 p.m. will be the vast majority of it. That's our art, computer programming, music, science, theater, and then some of our CCP and 21st century classes will be presenting that day. Like I said, you heard that music, right? We started back up with music a couple of weeks ago, and our middle school students have started with that class. And then, of course, we'll expand in the spring to high school as well. And and our Native Studies class will present in just before Thanksgiving. Our theater classes, performances, and culinary will present their finals presentations on Wednesday, December 11th. Okay, so Wednesday, December 11th will be our middle school and our high school presentation, and we're working on trying to turn that into a dinner theater event for that night. So that's what's happening with the end of term for STEM programming, and we're just moving forward. And let's see what comes January. We have a full class offerings in all areas. It's been really awesome. So
great. Okay, thank you, Jamie. Any questions for Jamie? Okay, May, you're up.
Good evening, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. Just a couple things. So talking about goal progression. So I think part of these great scores is that the teachers have really been working on as a collaborative group to address those things that do affect our students and reaching their goals. And one of them is plagiarism. And so I thank Karen, because she's always, come on, man, we got to get this plagiarism done. And I see the definite value of making sure that it's done, so that, you know, when our kids do take the exams, they truly know how to answer those open-ended questions. We're also sending out the risk of failure letters out on the 13th, so that families know who's at risk of failure. And also we can kind of use that data to determine what is it that we need to do on the MLSS, or the multi-layer system, to help the students reach their goals so they're not in that position. And then there's also sending out the progress reports, which some went out this week, and I believe some went out last week. Teachers are continuously working on addressing the student success contracts. And so they're really working with getting the students to come in those 5 days if they need to, and then releasing those students that don't, and then having a discussion as to what do we do when the students have been on those contracts and they haven't been successful. So we're working on those issues as well. And then just really working through the professional developments and also the parking lots to address any protocol that can help improve systems for those progression of the academic goals. Staff review. Instructional staff have also been meeting in their SWIFT teams to work on their goals as a committee. This Friday will be the wellness committee will be serving the holiday lunch, Thanksgiving lunch, which is really fantastic. So thanks to them for doing that. And outdoor committee is also meeting. All the committees are meeting, and then you know, trying to strive for what it is we want to see in the future that'll be effective and also really fun and exciting for the students. Again, teachers really working on the plagiarism. What do we do? How do we address that? And coming up with some ideas for that. We'll have a professional development that's going to take place on November 15th. And the focus is really going to be on safety. So we'll have someone in to come and do active shooter training with us, family reunification, Narcan training, and also like opioid training. So in other words, when do you give the Narcan? What are some things to look for? And then we'll also be addressing doing some rave panic button training. So rave panic button is something that is free to the schools. We are hooked up to the 911 system here within our county. And if something should happen at the other schools, like they have a lockdown or something going on, then dispatch can actually just let us know so we can get the communication. They don't tell us why, but all they tell us is, you know, for example, Taos Middle School is on lockdown. Then that gives us some information to say, well, if they're on lockdown, maybe we should be in a shelter in place. So that's really our focus on that. Included with that is going to be, as Jamie was talking about, career cruising and how we use those things from career cruising in our CCP classes and in our next step plan. So we'll be working on how to maneuver the system and what pieces we can use, and if it's an effective system for us or not, or we want to look at something else. Things to look forward to: more data on students enrolled in internships. So now that as we're coming to the end, I'll have on the next meeting how many kids participated in the internship program for the first semester and how many we might have signed up for the next semester. We've already had UNM fall classes enrollment and completion. Early graduation, we have probably about 5 kids that have discussed or wanted to work on early graduation. So we'll be working on that and further protocols. We have our fall break again. Students are continuing to work on their goal setting in the classrooms, individually based on Edgenuity progress. And a lot of teachers have actually been working on how many lessons, what their effectiveness is based on their data. So like if they need to complete 5 lessons for the week, how many did they complete? Or, did they go above average, so they can test their goals and make sure that they're doing what they need to do. National Honor, Junior Honor Society is going to be accepting non-perishable food items for the Taos Feeds Taos. So if anybody wants to drop by and donate, that'd be greatly appreciated. Curriculum, teachers are now using the MyPath, have received the training, and it seems to be working well. What's good about MyPath, it actually has a tutor, a live tutor they can log into if they don't have access to their advisor or during that time that they're seeking tutoring. It also is being used in place of some of Edgenuity for some students who are severely below grade level. It actually allows them to climb the steps. So if they start at 3rd grade, they can go all the way up to high school. So it's not limiting for them at all. And then the walkthroughs continue to be done for the teachers. I'll have the first set of walkthroughs done and into the evaluation system for the state before we leave on break. So, and that gives them strategies as to what things they can do in their classroom to be more effective or help with their instructional strategies. And then a celebration is Taos Academy Charter School continues to be a spotlight school. And I stand for any questions.
Okay, I have a couple. You
Sure.
mentioned plagiarism a couple times.
Yeah.
Is AI making it more difficult with plagiarism?
I believe it is making it a little more difficult for plagiarism. I also think that it's easy when students are behind just to kind of really copy and paste the text in there, thinking that, okay, this is the actual definition, so it must be right. I think what we kind of have talked about a little bit is maybe doing something during orientation, where we can, again, go over what does plagiarism look like, who's going to be checking. And I think Karen made a good point that hadn't been sort of happening in the past years. We had kind of gotten away from that, but looks like now that's something that needs to come to the forefront again. It's definitely in policy, and it's really, really important so that parents know and students know, this is not a proper thing, because when you do applications or you write essays or papers anywhere else, there's plagiarism checkers out there, and they're definitely going to check.
It's an educational opportunity too, because they need to learn about it. It's I know, in graduate school, if you get caught plagiarizing, you're out.
Yeah.
And so they need to know that it can affect their life in the future.
Correct.
So MyPap, is that a replacement for Edgenuity? Is that an addition, or?
It's actually in addition. So these ILP classes, so the ILP classes are classes that students and lower performing students and students on special ed would use these ILP classes, and they would be working with, sort of like math readiness. So if they're below and they can't take Algebra 1, then one option we had would be math readiness or something that was a little more at their grade level. Edgenuity is going to be getting rid of that, and in its place is MyPath. So that's what they've been trained on. I actually like MyPath because it allows for the student, like I say, to take a prescriptive. It'll start them wherever they are, and they can climb as high as they want to. And then let's say they're going to continue the next year. We don't have to start over. It'll hold their data, and they can resume from where they were. The nice point also is that a teacher can also, if they find that certain students are struggling, they can actually assign that lesson to the student and help them do a lesson, or, one of, like Dorota, one of our math tutors can do it, the advisors can do it, enrichment teachers can do it. So it's nice because you can push out a lesson as well without disrupting their MyPath.
Okay, great. Great.
Yep.
Other questions for me?
I don't
Anybody?
have a question. I just want to let you know what's going on with Sam. Her internet kicked off, and
Oh.
so she is trying to rejoin the call again. And she and Mary are working on it. Mary changed the settings, but she got bumped off because of her internet, and she's trying to rejoin. Just so you know what's
Yeah,
going
no-
on with Sam.
Well, hopefully she can rejoin before we need to take any votes on it.
And I think
Yeah.
maybe her internet
Only
went down.
thing was
again.
the policies.
What's that?
What's that? I was going to say,
I
I think
think
that. Go ahead, Mary.
I was
Sorry.
gonna say, I think her internet is flicking on and off because she kind of appears and disappears. So I've set it
Right.
that she join whenever she gets in again. Yeah.
If
Yeah,
it
that
doesn't
sounds
work,
like-
just have her call in. Might
Oh.
work too.
Yeah.
Just have
Oh,
her
okay.
call in.
I'll
I'll-
text her to
I can
call
send
in.
her the email. Yeah.
Yeah, she could call by phone.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And I don't think we have any other action items except for policy, which is tabled. So, I mean, I think it's okay, but I will tell her to call in.
That's a good idea, yeah. Okay, are you finished, May?
I believe so, unless you guys have any other questions for me.
Okay, any questions? Okay, up to you, Christy.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Good to see some of you. I mean, I like all of you. I don't mean it that way, but I don't I don't see all your faces. So
just some of us, huh?
it's only good to see a few of you. No.
Yep.
Okay, let me just go on with the facility reports then. So I meet with Jose on Mondays. Today was a little later than usual, but about 8:30 we try to meet. So I'm going to give you an update on the wellness building, shade sales, landscaping, locksmith, and fire alarm as well. So for the wellness building, Jose received an email that the company we're working with, CES, received the check on November 4th. And the shipping date is tentatively next week, weather permitting. Jose will report back to me today on specific data. And he did, as far as renting porta potties and the dumpster. So the dumpster, we already have that reconciled with Pamela having an open PO. So we're not concerned about that. And the porta potty is $163 for a month. And we don't think we're going to need it more than a month. So that's coming along nicely. And hopefully we'll see that building next week if we don't get any terrible rain or snow. The shade sales, there's going to be a December delivery with a spring setup. So we're excited about that. And then all these things that have been planned for quite a long time are finally coming to reality. For the landscaping, the workers came last Tuesday on Election Day, November 5th, but the weather did not permit completion. So only about 75% of the job was completed, but they are going to be returning. They did clear the surrounding area of weeds and debris on the south side of the multipurpose building. And Jose was able to put up PVC piping on both sides of the building for water diversion so that we don't get those big puddles or mud puddles and such. There is an annual fire inspection scheduled within the next 2 weeks, and he will be able to confirm that date with me tomorrow. So everything's coming along as it should be. The locksmith is going to be here this Friday, November 15th. Jose is going to work on that day, whereas he usually doesn't, but he's trading with the other school that he works with so that he can work on this Friday here at our school, and he'll work at the other building. I think it's Wednesday. And he's going to focus on locks of the buildings of the CTE, the multipurpose, the special ed lock controversy or situation that didn't go smoothly as it should. He's going to be fixing that, and the STEM building as well. And last that I have is a fire alarm. So Jose was alerted Saturday morning and he didn't see the text until a little bit later that day, but he did come to the school to check on it. There was a fire marshal, Eric, came out and spoke later with Jose regarding the whole situation. And what happened was it was a false alarm. There wasn't a fire, but there were two doors slightly ajar. And as they investigated, it's easy to see that whoever, wasn't able to close the doors completely, it looked like the doors were closed, except for they thought maybe a pebble or something really small. So if you had closed the door but didn't check that it was tightly closed, you would have thought it was closed. So it wasn't malfeasance on anybody's part. And in addition, the batteries in the interior main fire panel were low, but they were replaced today.
Great.
So that's what I have for an update.
Any questions for Christy about the facilities? Okay. Anything else? Anything else you need to report to us, Christy?
So far, so good. I've spent a whole week here.
Yep.
And, people are helpful and businesslike, but amiable. And it's just been really pleasant.
So they haven't kicked you out yet?
Not yet.
Yep.
I do have a packed bag in my car, though. Well, that's for the weather. Just
Yep.
kidding.
Yep. So you're feeling comfortable then?
Absolutely. Thank
Good.
you. Yes.
That's good to hear. Yeah, that's really good to hear. Okay. Boy, we're moving.
Do I need
right
to
along.
feed you to keep you around, Christy?
You are a good cook. I'm trying to lose weight. Please don't feed me. No, it's been really good. As I said, pleasant, welcoming, and just to top it off, at least 4 staff members individually have come to me and said, "Hey, in a pinch, if you need a place to stay, come to my house." So, it's just been great.
Yep. That's great. That's good to hear. It's just, and so I hope the weather remains good. If it is good, I don't know whether it is or not.
It is.
It was 84 here today. So,
No, it's beautiful here. It's not 84, but it's clear and dry. And that's how I like the roads. So that's perfect for me.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have anything, Karen, for the calendar at all? Anything we're doing with the board's calendar?
No, not from any changes from last time. I just went ahead and added now that Sam won't be here next month.
Right, right.
But we're supposed to be discussing the GC evaluation this meeting. And then do the GC self-evaluation next meeting, unless we want to change that to different months.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared for that tonight, so maybe we should, if anybody doesn't have objections, let's change that to next month, but let's make sure we don't push it back too far, because so many years it gets pushed way back. It keeps getting pushed back. So let's make sure we discuss it next meeting, and let's put a separate agenda item for that so that I'll notice it more.
Okay.
And Karen, did you say, or you said the self-evaluation, what'd you say before that?
So this meeting, we're supposed to discuss the evaluation, and the next meeting, we're supposed to do the self-evaluation.
Okay.
Yes. Gotcha. Now I'll just move those over another month.
Right. So,
okay. And maybe in the meantime, everybody should look at what we have used as our evaluation so far in the past, so that we can decide, like, do we still just want to use the same thing? So I think a little homework on the part of the governing council,
right,
to, do your due diligence and maybe take a look at it before our December meeting. Because I agree with Dean that we have to kind of get right on that. We don't want to wait too much on that. So let's be prepared next meeting by actually looking at it and going like, hey, is it fine as it is? Do we need to change it? I mean, we haven't really changed it much over, the last little bit, and maybe making big changes now, when everybody's not in place, maybe it's a good idea, maybe not, but like, let's look at it, and so we can have some serious discussion next time. Go ahead,
yeah,
Kelly.
that's in the drive. Our past ones are in the drive too, I think.
Right. So please go in and take a look.
Okay, Kelly.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you could send me a copy of your last year's um, evaluation or assessment.
Right.
I can take a look at it and maybe I could make some recommendations as well.
That
If
would
you
be
guys
great.
can't find it, I think it's on Tracy's drive because she sends it to you guys, right?
No, it's in the
Right.
governing council drive, Pamela. Everybody has access.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I thought
think.
she
I mean, I'll
sent
go
it to
check
you
right.
guys.
I'll check right now.
Yeah.
Would it be easy for one of you to send that to Kelly from last year?
Okay. I wasn't sure if that was the one that Tracy sent to you guys or not.
I don't mind sending it to you, Kelly. I'll send it.
That's
Okay,
great. Thank you.
That'd be great. Okay. Anything else? Let's see. Strategic planning review. We decided we're going to do that in the spring, I believe. We need a community member for the audit committee. So what?
Hey,
Does anybody
somebody
have any
needs to
suggestions?
unmute Sam. She says she wants to say stuff and she can't. She's muted. She's in on the phone, but somehow she's muted.
Can you get that, Mary?
I'm trying to find where she is. Oh, I see it here. Hold on. Oh,
She's
wow.
the phone number, I think.
I can't unmute someone else, it tells me. So she has to unmute herself somehow.
She probably logged in on the live streaming instead of on our link.
No, the phone is here. The one, whatever, it ends on 54. So I presume that's her phone call. But I cannot unmute her. She has to, that's what it says to me, even though I'm the owner of the meeting. And it says when I try and unmute her, you can't unmute someone else. So she has to try and do it if she can.
I mean,
Can
could she
she
call
hear?
one of you guys and just put her on speaker and just so it's essentially
Yeah.
two voices?
Yeah, I just let her know if she can't. She says she can't. All right, I'll ask her if she wants me to turn her on this meeting.
Okay, or she could even just send a message too.
Yeah, she's on the phone, so I think she can't do
Oh, yeah.
messages or anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you know.
Directions say to press *6.
She's joined the meeting again.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. My Apple products just loathe Google Meets, and so
Yeah.
I apologize.
Mine do too.
I was just trying to confirm, like, that we were talking about the head administrator evaluation.
No, these are the GC evaluations we're talking about.
Okay. Yes, I would. I'd like. I think all of our things could use some updates. So I would love
In
to.
fact, Karen, just to make it easier
Do you
for
want me to send you a copy
all-
too, Sam?
Would love it.
yeah, just send it to all the entire board governing
Yes.
council. I
Yes,
think it'd make it
please.
easier for us. Yeah.
Hey, so if I send it to the entire governing council, then I still need to send it to you separately, Kelly, correct? You're not, are you on our governing council
No,
email?
I would love to be if I could.
I added you today. You're in.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I've done it. So it should work.
Okay. Okay, so
Oh.
I'll just send it to all governing council.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, great. That would be fantastic. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yep. It's great the way we all work together to get things we need. It's a good, really good governing council we have.
And Mary, just did you send the link for the file access?
I can do that. You want the access to the drive, correct?
If it's okay with the, I have to be confidential, so I'm sworn to secrecy. So, but if it's good if I can review some things.
Yeah, and you should have access to it because the access is also through the governing council group. But try it out and we can fix it. If you don't, I will put you in separately to have access. Okay, so we'll work it out.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Okay, we haven't discussed possibilities for the community member for the audit committee. Does anybody have any particular recommendations? I think it'd be best if it's somebody that knows at least something about Taos Academy.
We'll start with finance and then Taos Academy is a bonus.
Yeah, that would be good. Okay.
Need it for this round of audit? I mean, the audit's closing. Are we going to get dinged for not having a community member?
No, he passed away during the session, so they understand that we have to have time to look for someone that's qualified. And yes,
question.
the first thing would be they need some financial background. And past board members would be good. If anybody thinks of anybody that wouldn't mind being there a little bit. That's what made Bill a good one, because he knew both finance and he knows a lot about Taos Academy.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah, unfortunately, our past board members are passed away.
Simeon's not though, right?
I know that Matthew did too, right?
Yes, I did know that. It's been a sad year.
It
Simeon's
has.
still with us though, right?
Matt passed away?
Yes.
He wasn't that old.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I know.
How long
I
ago
know.
was that?
And he outlasted oh God, I'm sorry, just blanking. Simeon.
Right.
Which surprisingly enough, because Simeon's been on the brink for a while, but yeah, so it's hard to think of past members, but maybe, somebody from the parent body, or like you say, we need somebody who knows some finance.
We have to have a parent member too. We have to have a
What's
parent
that?
member too. So we have to have a parent member too. So I'd rather them not be a parent member, but
okay.
We'll take what we can get.
Okay. Well, I'll definitely put some thought into it and see what we can come up with.
Yeah, it can even be like a business owner, right? Just someone who's
absolutely somebody who understands internal controls to some degree, somebody who understands those things and understand what we're audited about.
Yeah. Okay, I know a couple people, but they're in their late 70s or early 80s, so it might be better not to use them. Okay, how about, is there anything we need to cover? It's mentioned on this last item, GC training. Is there anything we need to be covering, Kelly, on that?
Just the fact that the hours that you accumulate, this 5 hours that we're doing is a little different, because there's several topics that need to be covered in this quote unquote 5 hours. So the time that I spend with you at the meetings, for example, you guys discussed academic performance. We talked about OMA a little bit, but the finances. So you're absorbing credit into that 5 hours. And so it's not as an hour for hour kind of thing. It's more topic driven. And so we're covering all this. And then when you guys do your retreat, like I did last year, that will get you quite a few of your credit hours. So this is more a consultancy model, right? And so I'm here on a consulting basis like we did today, and can provide as much guidance as you need or want.
Okay, great. So we're just cruising along right now.
You guys are cruising.
Yep. Okay, great. Okay, is there anything else we need to be covering tonight?
I sent out the governing council self-evaluation form. It invites you to fill it out, but it's really just for you guys to look at the questions.
Okay, great.
Don't go ahead and do it, but everybody has access to do the evaluation, but it's really just so everybody can see the questions.
Okay.
So I just sent that out. You all should have it in your email. I sent it to governing council.
Yep. Did you get it, Kelly? Good.
Okay. Great. Excellent. Just look at those questions and make recommendations in December would be lovely.
That sounds good. That sounds great. Okay, I don't know of anything else we have, the next board meeting, There was something we mentioned earlier that we wanted to cover on the next board. I forget what it was now. Anybody write it down?
It was the high yield account.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah. So
Are we
we'll
gonna
put
have
that
a
on.
Christmas dinner
I think
for the
Karen
staff?
said there isn't funding for it anymore.
Okay.
Well, we didn't do fundraising this year, and you know, I know that there's several staff members who are batting around some ideas, but you know, the foundation has kind of bowed out of that. So it's going to be up to the staff to try to pull that off. So we'll let you know if anything happens. At this point, actually, what's been floated, which is actually kind of a good idea, is doing a kind of like a cocktail party at what's that little place? The Social Club where El Gamal used to be.
Yeah.
And kind of just doing like, you know, some appetizers. You know, they'd put on some specialty drinks, alcoholic, non-alcoholic. They're getting back a price. You know, they're getting back to us with the price. So, you know, kind of maybe not a full-on dinner, but, you know, still a little bit of a holiday celebration. And so a couple of the gals on the foundation that, you know, Bree and Patricia Maher, who are both on the foundation board, are looking into doing that, and not like through the foundation. Folks would just, you know, we'll find out how much it is. Tracy said that there is a little bit of funding for us to be able to do that through the school. And so
No,
we're
there would
hoping that.
not be, Karen. There would not be. I need to make that very clear.
Oh,
Not
okay.
for an
Because Tracy
after-hours
approved it.
party.
She said that
There
before
would-
she left. But okay.
No, not for an after hours party, and not that would include alcohol.
Right.
No, I mean, it wouldn't be the
Agenda,
alcohol.
there has to be an agenda with any food that we provide, and it has
Right.
to be a
An
working
agenda
text.
with food. I get it. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
that
Jamie
criteria.
has a question. Jamie?
So yes, the leadership team as a whole has been looking into some other options of, you know, whether it's on campus, reaching out and looking at different places of like places like the Gorge or appetizer type of things, at other activities, whether we want to do something that's just staff only, or if it is families, and you know, because we would be paying out of pocket on our own, and what we would do about this, because yes, we understand that if we want to go out somewhere as a whole, do they want it to be in like fancy type formal evening out, or do we want to create a like family event for all of us? So we floated around things like, you know, bowling or dinner somewhere, some kind of team building activity. Do we just want to do a nice potluck somewhere that there might be places to do that here in town? So we actually have been discussing that, and I believe, I'm not sure if this week a survey is supposed to go out from the leadership team as to what staff wanted to do.
Well, keep the governing council informed and let us know if there's any way we can help.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Anything else? Anybody have anything else? Gosh, this is a short meeting.
I just have a quick one. I don't know if Deanna saw my chat, but I have someone possibly, I just did like a soft check and they were like, yeah, sure. And so I'm for the audit committee. And so who do I send that person to?
If you could just have them, give them my email, maybe include us both on an email. I would love to chat with them.
Okay, yeah, for sure. That'd be great.
Thank you. I just noticed there were some chats up. I was just looking.
Oh yeah, no worries. Just as we were wrapping up, I'm like, I want to make sure you see it.
Yes,
Yep.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Anything else? This has been a good meeting. You know, it's I don't like virtual meetings as much because I like to be able to see people's faces. Well, I can see your faces, but I like to see you, you know. So hopefully there'll be a bunch of us at the December meeting, even though we know Sam won't be able to be there either virtually or otherwise, you know. So does anybody have anything else we need to bring up at all?
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Happy
Okay.
Have a
I
wonderful Thanksgiving. Yes.
I should be back in town in about a week, you know, and so if anybody needs to get a hold of me, why, I'll be in town. You know, you guys do fine without me, so I don't think you'll need to get a hold of me.
Well, have a
Good to
wonderful
know.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
A motion to adjourn.
I second the motion.
All right, Dean,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
motion. I'm sorry, Martin's on there. Sam,
Yeah.
Karen,
Yes.
motion carries.
Yep. Okay, Christy, can you hang back for just a minute?
Absolutely.
Thank
Great.
you, everyone.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
See you
Bye
guys.
bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
33.
Bye.
Bye
Great
now.
meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.